Hi guys, welcome back to Marvel Contest of Champions. So this is a follow-up video that is based on my video at the start of the week, which was about these images, Act 5 Elders War, and also the other two images of Archangel as well as Psylocke. The reason I'm doing a follow-up video is I felt very inspired and passionate by the lovely comments and constructive comments and interesting comments that I read, and I felt that it was important to kind of bring those into the light and kind of have a look at, number one, people's opinions on Psylocke if she was a character that's coming into the game. Secondly, opinions on the third character, the one with the question mark, and who we think she could be or he could be, and how it would tie into what we consider to be an Elders War, and in general the Elders of the universe and how that story would kind of play out. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So I think what we gathered from the video was that I had a pretty strong opinion on Psylocke's kind of face and the way the character looked in general. I think in some ways, I think what I take what I said with a pinch of salt. I think from my perspective, it was just based on where she came from the source material with regards to facial structure against what we see in the game. Someone did remind me, and thank you for that there's quite a few female characters that do have very puffy faces. For example, the person in particular mentioned that Phoenix is a character that's more of a kind of a rounded face, more of a puffier face. So it could be then a bit of an interesting sidestep to kind of then think about her age. And someone did say that she looks a bit too young. And the one thing that I found quite strange was the character's stature, which is here. She looks quite short. Now, when I had a bit look about her size and her height, it is popping up with information that she was around about 6 foot and 155 pounds. If you were to kind of then translate to the game, then how would that play out? Would she really be, you know, a lot taller than she is? Obviously the look needs to be a little bit Asian, which it is, but regards to, like I said, the stature side of things, the character doesn't look to be that tall. And as well, people were mentioning that maybe her sword should be more, it would have a lot of more energy to it. The katana would have energy to it, so it would look like it would be glowing in some sort of a way. A purpley pinky type kind of glow around the section which is here, just there. Just to kind of show that the character is that. Or maybe this is a point where right at the end, she's just then, I'd say, taken it off, and there you go. There's just a standard katana there. But you know, I really don't know at this stage. I think it's all a bit of a guessing game. It's all up to interpretation until we get a little bit more. Maybe, you know, Marvel Contest of Champions Strokos is going to get some footage soon. Who knows? It will be great to see what's going to happen. But we still got a little bit of time left, and obviously I'll give you the scoop whenever we got it. So there was talk about where the inspiration for the outfits for Psylocke and for Archangel come from, and yes, it does seem like it's very Uncanny X-Force. I think it's definitely with Archangel. He does retain a lot of this image, which is very kind of similar to all these ones that we're seeing here with the Uncanny X-Force. Psylocke, not so much. I mean, there is similarities, especially with the bottom half. You can see there in that issue 35, and in issue 1 we've got cross there. I don't know if we have a large image. Yes, we do. So we've got the cross there, and we have that bit of the on the thigh and upper area there, which is similar. Okay, it's similar. It's not exactly, but it's similar to what we see here. Kind of a mesh of different kind of outfits into one necessarily. So the next question is, who is this character here? I'm going to talk through some of your suggestions and see if we can tie them into a kind of Elders War. Also, it may turn up something completely new and send us in a completely new direction when it comes to the next act, or Act 6, which obviously that's going to be like, we're saying, well, next year, is it going to be 2 years? What is it going to be? So let's do it. So BG Williams and Blake suggested that this character could be Death. It's very hard to find a character version from a different Earth, or any Earth for that matter. This was Earth 9997 version of the character, who has like, you have facial appearance. Most of the characters are just skeletons, and the people are saying it could be Death. Now, it would be a good fit, before anybody gets angry or says, "Oh, that can't be right." It would be a good fit for the story of the Contest of Champions, the kind of comic book series, not the 2015 version, but the very first, the 1982 version, or 1989, I can't remember, one of the two, where this character is prominent and is involved with tricking the Grandmaster and the Collector. So if this was correct, this would tie into the final chapter for a good story. Cornerstone being that, no, I think betrayal would be something associated with death if it was going to be associated anything near to the comic books. Before I go anywhere, just to mention what someone called Joshua put, in that he would find it really enjoyable if each of the characters that are here, or the elders of the universe, were bosses. Maybe not characters that we could play in the future, but play against, because they have different abilities, which would make them unique in different ways. And also we'd have to change our game with regards to playing against them. It could mean that their kind of god level is going to be very difficult, but we've scaled down Dormammu, and he's been, he's got more of a, I can't remember what they said, like more of a molecular structure, matter. He's matter now, so therefore he can be damaged. So that's kind of a cool concept to then integrate him into the game. Justin suggests that maybe the Ancient One, maybe in this one they may decide to give him some hair, because most of the stuff that I've seen, he actually is a bit of a, a bit of a kind of a bowl top, really, when it comes to that. In some things I have, obviously we've seen here, he's got a bit of hair. Would they give him something with a top knot? It is very hard to tell. The structure of the hat that he wears in certain aspects may mean that, it just wouldn't work out. But also would tie well to him being of an Asian look, which, yes, would put him into the final one quite nicely. I think with regards to the look of little bit of youth, it may not kind of fit into the scheme of things with what's going on here. But again, everything is, we don't know until we know a little bit more. Five Truths said it may be Roma, and that's a good shout. There's a good top knot there, which could pinpoint something. But I think the character is too much of a kind of a bit character. It doesn't have much of a kind of a prominent role. Yes, she's the daughter of Merlin, but that would imply that Merlin would need to be kind of introduced into the game with regards to an Elders War. He doesn't really kind of associate him too well with that story, but still, I like the fact that Kabam go completely left field. If we say that one character's here, they end up tying into over here. It's nice. I like it. There's a bit of a kind of a dynamic of change and difference. There's loads of different wealth of characters. It would hint that we'd need some sort of more British and prominent Marvel line in order to make it really viable in the game. So again, big question mark. I think that if they were going to do, I think the top knot and the longer hair would probably be, doesn't look like it, but you never know with this. You never know. The final idea comes from Kaze3Y00. Great name. And he goes with that it could be, and I need to say this right, again, a weird name, Izanagi no Mikoto. Hopefully I said that right without being coming across offensive in any way. And this character is, I believe, a sun god. The seventh generation god. Izanagi, commonly depending on the historical record of Amatsu Kami, was the first of his people to descend from Ama to Earth via the dimensional nexus known as Ama no Kashadet, the Bridge of Heaven, where he met Izanami no Makoto, also known as In, an aspect of primordial Earth Mother Gaia. I suppose Gaia could be a person as well. The Earth realm at its time was formless world dominated by a dark primordial void, where the ancient forces of nature, known as Amatsu Mekaboshi, existed and reigned alone in the eternal nothingness. Izanagi and Izanami stood upon the bridge of heaven and dipped Izanagi's jeweled spear, Ame no Tamakaboko, God's sake with this Japanese stuff, into the seemingly endless void, forming the islands of Japan. That I find is absolutely fantastic. Now I like the way that this kind of links into things like the extraterrestrials, the Celestials threatened Earth, Council of Godheads, meeting discuss. Now I think it's like puts it into this kind of, even though they're kind of totally separate kind of things happening with these different stories, there is a good chance that this would be an excellent tie-in with this character. And it's a fantastic look to this character here. He's an Aggie there and there. You know, it just looks like he could be the part. And imagine that. Okay, imagine that we have this fantastic build-up. Act 5 is building up to this point where Act 6 is going to be very Japanese themed. I'm not sure how Kabam are fixed at the moment to kind of deliver to the Japanese market, but if they were to do that, then imagine that, like a kind of a big build-up to a Japanese gods or Japanese Act 6. That would be pretty amazing. If this is all true, if this is all true and leading to that, to Act 5, leading to that point, then this would be incredibly positive for the game going forward. So thanks very much for watching this video. The reason I did it was just to kind of follow up on some of those community suggestions that you had, and just read through some of these comments. I'm really excited. I'm really passionate about comic books. I'm also incredibly passionate about this game. It's a fantastic game. So I'm excited for this going forward, and what this could potentially mean for the game as well going forward. So as things progress, leading up to Act 5, I'll be covering it as much as possible. And then hopefully, as the story mode goes, kind of following the story of it. I've tried to work with Kabam. I'm actually waiting to hear back from them if they can do this, to give me a transcript of a lot of the information, especially with events going forward, so that I can cover them, because not a lot of people do have time to kind of look at the events. They want to quickly get through the gameplay, especially if you're going for Legend Badge. So hopefully I can get that from them and they can help me out, so I can then help you guys out and give you delivery of the story, so we know what's going on with the game, and also, you know, learn a bit. You know, Kabam put the effort in to make a storyline. We should really kind of take the time to kind of enjoy it and see what it's all about, because we may not get it and then go, oh, what was that story about? Anyway, thanks very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button. If you want to talk further about Act 5, then leave a comment in the section below. And follow me on social media, the link is in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Marvel Contest of Champions content moving forward. Thanks again. Bye-bye.